For over a century, the tank has stood as the undisputed symbol of battlefield dominance. A rolling fortress of steel, firepower, and intimidation, it reshaped the very nature of ground combat. From the mud-soaked trenches of World War I to the sweeping armored thrusts of World War II, tanks became the spearhead of military might. But today, a new contender has emerged, small, cheap, and deadly. The drone. Once dismissed as little more than flying cameras, drones have evolved into precision killers, capable of destroying multi-million-dollar armored vehicles with a fraction of the cost and manpower. So, are we witnessing the twilight of the tank? Or is this simply the next chapter in the eternal arms race between weapon and counterweapon? In this video, we'll explore the past, present, and future of this clash. The battlefield of yesteryear, the reign of the tank. The story of the tank begins in the mud and blood of the First World War. Trench warfare had ground armies to a halt. Machine guns, barbed wire, and artillery made advances costly and slow. The solution? An armored vehicle that could crush wire, resist bullets, and carry firepower across no man's land. The British Mark I tank, introduced in 1916, was clumsy, slow, and prone to breakdowns. Yet, it terrified soldiers who had never seen anything like it. The psychological impact was immense. Even when tanks failed mechanically, their presence alone shook enemy morale. By World War II, tanks had matured into the centerpiece of modern armies. The German Blitzkrieg relied on fast-moving panzer divisions, supported by aircraft and mechanized infantry, to smash through enemy lines and encircle entire armies. The Soviet T-34, with its sloped armor and powerful gun, became legendary for its balance of speed, protection, and firepower. Tanks weren't just weapons, they were symbols of national power. Rolling into a city with tanks wasn't just a tactical move, it was a statement of conquest. Armies invested heavily in armored divisions, and doctrines were built around them. During the Cold War, NATO and the Warsaw Pact amassed tens of thousands of tanks, preparing for a showdown in the plains of Europe. The tank was seen as the ultimate land weapon, capable of deciding wars. For decades, the tank reigned supreme. But technology never stands still. The drone revolution, new eyes, new weapons. Fast forward to the 21st century, and a new technology is rewriting the rules of war: drones. At first, drones were little more than reconnaissance tools. They provided eyes in the sky without risking pilots. But soon, militaries realized their potential as weapons. Armed drones could loiter over battlefields, strike with precision, and do so at a fraction of the cost of traditional aircraft. Today, drones come in many forms. Large, high-altitude drones like the American MQ-9 Reaper can conduct surveillance and launch missiles. Smaller quadcopters, costing only hundreds of dollars, can drop grenades or act as suicide drones. Loitering munitions, sometimes called kamikaze drones, hover over battlefields, waiting for a target before diving in for the kill. Recent conflicts have shown just how disruptive drones can be. In the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh War, Azerbaijani forces used Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drones to devastating effect. Armenian tanks and artillery were destroyed in large numbers, often caught in the open with little defense. The footage of drones picking off armored vehicles one by one shocked military planners worldwide. In Ukraine, drones have become a daily reality of war. Both sides use commercial drones to drop explosives directly onto tanks, trenches, and supply vehicles. A $500 drone can disable a $5 million tank, a cost ratio that is impossible to ignore. Drones are cheap, expendable, and scalable. A swarm of drones can overwhelm defenses, saturating even the most advanced systems. For militaries used to investing billions in heavy armor, this is a nightmare scenario. The unholy alliance. Drone versus tank showdown. So how do tanks fare against drones? The answer is complicated. Tanks are designed to withstand artillery, missiles, and anti-tank weapons. Their armor is thickest on the front, where they expect to face enemy fire. But drones exploit a critical weakness: the top of the tank. The roof armor is much thinner, designed only to resist shrapnel, not direct hits. Drones can attack from above, dropping explosives directly onto hatches, engines, or turrets. Loitering munitions, such as Israel's Harop or Russia's Lancet, dive from the sky with deadly precision. Even small quadcopters can hover and drop grenades into vulnerable spots. Swarm tactics make this even worse. A single tank may be able to defend against 1 or 2 drones, but what about 10 or 50? The sheer volume of threats can overwhelm even the most advanced defenses. But tanks are not defenseless. Militaries are developing countermeasures. Active protection systems, like Israel's Trophy, can detect and intercept incoming projectiles. Electronic warfare systems can jam drone signals, cutting off communication between operator and drone. Some tanks are being fitted with anti-drone machine guns or even laser defenses. Still, the balance is shifting. For every new defense, drones evolve new tactics. This is the eternal arms race of warfare, weapon versus counterweapon. Beyond the battlefield, strategic implications. The rise of drones is not just a tactical issue, it's strategic. For decades, military doctrine assumed that heavy armor was essential for ground dominance. But now, commanders must ask, is investing billions in tanks wise when cheap drones can destroy them? Some nations are already shifting priorities. Instead of building massive tank fleets, they are investing in drones, electronic warfare, and mobile infantry. The future battlefield may look less like the tank-heavy clashes of the 20th century and more like a networked web of small, fast, and connected units. There are also ethical and regulatory challenges. Autonomous drones raise questions about accountability. If a drone makes a kill decision without human oversight, who is responsible? International law is struggling to keep up with this new reality. Non-state actors, terrorist groups, militias, insurgents can also acquire drones cheaply. Unlike tanks, which require state-level resources, drones can be built in garages or bought online. This democratization of air power is deeply unsettling for traditional militaries. Artificial intelligence adds another layer. AI-driven targeting systems could make drones faster, deadlier, and more independent. A future battlefield of autonomous swarms, coordinating without human input, is no longer science fiction. It's a looming possibility. The new era of warfare, adaptation or obsolescence. So, are tanks obsolete? The answer is more nuanced than a simple yes or no. Tanks are not disappearing tomorrow. They still provide mobile firepower, protection for infantry, and psychological impact. In urban combat, tanks remain valuable for supporting ground troops. But their role is changing. Tanks can no longer operate alone. They must be integrated into a broader system, working with drones, infantry, electronic warfare, and air support. The days of massive tank versus tank battles may be fading, replaced by hybrid warfare where drones scout, disrupt, and strike, while tanks deliver decisive blows. Militaries are adapting. New tank designs are incorporating active protection, drone integration, and even their own onboard drones. The tank of the future may look very different from the steel behemoths of the past. In truth, the story of drones versus tanks is not about one replacing the other. It's about evolution. Warfare is a constant cycle of innovation and adaptation. The machine gun made cavalry obsolete. The tank overcame trenches. The missile challenged the tank. And now, drones are the latest challenger. But history shows us one thing. No weapon is ever truly invincible, and no weapon is ever truly obsolete. They simply evolve, adapt, and find new roles. Conclusion: the tank may no longer be king of the battlefield, but it is not yet dethroned. Instead, it is entering a new era, one where survival depends on adaptation, integration, and innovation. Drones have changed the game, but they are not the final word. The arms race continues, and the future of warfare will be shaped by the next leap in technology, whether it's autonomous swarms, directed energy weapons, or something we can't yet imagine. One thing is certain: the battlefield of tomorrow will look very different from the battlefield of yesterday. And the clash between drones and tanks is only the beginning.